Talk of Lifetime show with Elma, Linda, and our fabulous, what's her name? You know I got ARP. That's Kimberly. All right, all right, all right. And before we get started, I can't believe I left my sign.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I left my sign.
I
I
know
feel
what it
so
says.
absent. So what does my sign say?
Start what you finish. Comes
All
out
right,
of
y'all
Philippians.
remember. All right, Philippians 1:6. Whatever you
1:6.
start, you need to finish. So tonight, we're going to get off into our guest business. She is a very beautiful young woman,
Yes, she is.
and she has written this book here, and it's called Creative Caregiving and Beyond by Wendy Whiteman. Is that right? Whiteman?
That's right.
All right. So Wendy is our guest tonight, and we're so blessed to have her on the show.
Yes.
And you know, Kimberly met Wendy and brought Wendy on the show. So we're excited. So we're going to allow Kimberly to introduce Wendy and tell us a little bit how she met Wendy, what was going on. And we thank you, Wendy, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes,
Thank
you're so
you.
awesome. So go ahead, Kim, do your thing.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're talking about a best kept secret. This is my best kept secret on the planet.
I know.
I think I have 3 of them.
Okay.
This is like my BFF guys. Bam! You
All
may never
right,
see us
all right.
together, but I tell you, we can pick up the phone, and if 2 women are like what, Sarah and Martha is me and her. My husband will know, and our kids will know. If we start praying the Holy Ghost, they know we talking to each other.
All right, then. That's
how
good. I like that.
We are. She can
I
just
like
kick it
that.
off, and then I jump in.
That's right.
I love it. I
And they'll
love
walk
it.
past and they'll say, "Oh, that's Kimberly," or "Oh, that's Wendy."
Okay, that's good. Like that when you got Holy Ghost
Yeah.
friends
Yes.
that you can talk to.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And we met through her sister-in-law, Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
You always eating.
We met at Thanksgiving dinner, and we have been hanging since then. 4 years. We've been rolling since then.
Wow.
Our kids, our husband, family, auntie, Aunt Lee, Uncle Van,
Yes.
Joy, Dale.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Okay, Wendy, it's so nice to have you on the show tonight. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your book. We want to get into your business.
Yes, yes.
We need to know about Wendy, okay? You're so
Okay.
beautiful. We're just so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you so much for having me. Well, I'm an attorney, and I'm originally from Dallas. And I've worked originally out of law school. I was a prosecutor for Dallas County District Attorney's Office. And
Wow.
yes. So I prosecuted for about 12 years. And so I did a lot of different types of criminal cases.
Ooh,
And
I know that was exciting.
it was, never a dull moment there. And when I left, just before I left, I did a specialized crime, white collar crime, and I did benefit fraud. So I worked with the lawyers over at Department of Human Services and with Medicaid fraud and Medicare issues. And so when I went into private practice, I just kind of went into that area to help families, kind of stay out of trouble. So, yeah, and let them know about what the law says and what they can do and what they can't do.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look at this show called The Queen of something on a BET where all these women did time for criminal stuff.
Okay.
You know how
Mhm.
they did fraudulent things and all of that, thought they was gonna get off and everything. Then they go into court and all this stuff. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
wow. So you did a lot of that. Your
I
cases
did.
and stuff.
Yes.
And she's saying that she's a prosecutor. She didn't say nothing about prostitution.
No, not
You know,
prostitution.
we have to get it straight on the show.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people be saying, she said that no, she's an attorney, you all. Okay? And you might want to define what a prosecutor does,
Yes. Well, a prosecutor represents the citizens of the state of Texas. And in particular, they are assigned to a particular county. And I was assigned to oversee cases and present cases on behalf of the citizens that were criminal cases, such as, misdemeanors and felonies, everything from theft to murder, and represent the people in prosecuting those who were accused of those crimes. And so that's what a prosecutor does.
Okay.
Yes.
So, now, We know you did that. Did a lot of people get upset with you on some of your cases? Or?
Yes, that does happen. That does
yes,
happen.
it does.
Yes,
you know, I
yes.
watch Bull. That show called Bull. I be watching Bull and seeing how they do it, and I like that other show that comes on TV. I can't think of her name. She's a black attorney on there. But anyway, I know a lot of people get upset because you're going up there, and I bet you was tough. I bet you can plead your case,
Yes,
girl.
she can.
Can she do it, Kimberly?
Yes, she can.
I bet
Like
you
a
can
pit
plead
bull.
it.
They don't stand
So
a
how
chance.
how does it feel being a black attorney? And I mean a woman in this field? Because we don't hear about too many black women attorney, and it's a blessing to have that. So how does it feel?
Well, it initially when I first started practicing law, women were just going into that
Right.
50 percentile of
Right.
women and being lawyers, and there weren't that many. Well, I think there was one other black attorney at my office out of 200 attorneys at the
Are
time
you serious?
when I got there.
Wow.
But I just simply, first of all, I'm a child of the Most High God.
Right?
That
So
makes all the
I-
difference. That's right.
That's how I identify, and no matter what I do, and even though other people may look at the color of your skin, I look at who
Right.
I am on the inside, and know
That's
that,
good. That's
and
good.
know that,
That's
and
good.
work to that standard of excellence.
That's good.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever had when you was prosecuting? Did you ever have cases where the person was innocent, but sometimes you had to do? Is there such thing as a quota that you guys have to make, or if you want to run for office, you have to convict this, have so many cases on the prosecuting side. So have you ever had any cases where the person wasn't guilty, and you'd say, "Oh well, this guy's not guilty." So what entailed that part? I mean, how would you handle that?
That's a very good question. Well, what I did was I took each case on an individual basis,
Uh-huh.
and looked at the evidence. There's
That's
a
good.
law that says that if there's evidence to exonerate a defendant, we had to turn it over.
Right.
And it wasn't a choice, in my opinion. I mean,
Right.
if someone chose not to do that, I wasn't going to do that because I wasn't going to jail. I wasn't going to get reprimanded. And I know how hard my mom
That's
worked
true.
for me to go to law
Yes,
school.
Yes.
And I wasn't going to do anything to defame that
Right.
and be put in a bad light.
Right.
So if there was information that needed to be turned over to the defense, I turned it over.
Really?
And if there was information, and that's just the honorable thing to do.
That's right.
And so, but I did have a case. I remember that a defendant was not guilty, and she had approached her lawyer to come to for me to talk to her, her defense attorney, and I was like, why do she want to talk to me? But she said it was her twin sister. It wasn't her, and I was like, well, we've all heard that before, right?
Right.
And a few weeks went by, and I said, okay, well, I will talk to her. So I did, and it wasn't her. It was her
Really?
twin sister, and it
Oh,
was
okay.
the evil twin sister,
Wow.
and who had taken her
Really?
identity, and we did make that change. But she got arrested, and it was the evil twin sister. So she did get out of jail,
Oh.
and then we were able to
So the
apprehend her
good
sister.
twin sister was in jail.
The good twin sister was in jail.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The evil was out
And
there
the evil
doing
was
it.
out having her a good
And
time.
she was out having a
And
good
she
time.
was willing to let her sister
Yes.
go to jail. Isn't that something?
Yes.
That's almost like that sermon I preached yesterday. It's just a mess. But let me ask you this: when you get these cases, and some of these cases you really probably don't want to do, how do you handle that? Some of them, you're like, ooh, gosh, I really don't
Especially if
want to
it's
do
a
this.
family member
Uh-huh.
or a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you have to adjourn yourself from that. You
Right.
have
Yes.
to, follow the facts and all that. But how does that make you? I mean, and then you get calls from the family member. Now
They mad at
they're
you.
mad at you, and they don't want to talk with you unless you help them. Solve the case or
Right. That's a good question too. I because I'm from the Metroplex,
Mhm.
I did come across people that I went to school with,
Right.
and one trial, I tried to recuse myself. The judge would not let me. And so I just tried the case. And then afterwards, the defendant saw me. And as they were taking him back and he did get convicted, he said, Wendy, I understand you just did your job. And he was just so nice to me.
Oh, really?
He said, I understand. I guess he could tell I didn't want to
Do
be a
it.
part of it necessarily, but I just did my job.
Yeah.
And he recognized that. Yeah.
So when can you recuse yourself?
Usually, if there is a conflict of interest,
Right.
I knew him from high school. I didn't know him that well,
Okay.
Right.
but and he knew me, but I didn't know him that well. And the judge determined that it wasn't a situation to.
Were you his lawyer?
No, I was not his lawyer.
Okay,
I
you
was
wasn't.
prosecuting.
Okay, you do. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
But
I was
let me-
trying to send him to jail.
This is you was trying to send him to jail. Oh, okay. So we understand that because that's what the prosecutor does, right?
Yes.
Is it get them to be sentenced?
Yes.
Where the defendant attorney
Is
Trying to get
defending
them
that.
off.
defending them
Yes.
to get them off. I
Yes.
just
Right.
wanted Facebook to know because I got AARP.
Yeah, sometimes
But, you know, I watched this show called Delilah. Okay. And Delilah, both of them are attorneys. And I love seeing shows like that when they make the women put them out there. She's an attorney.
Okay.
But her friend is an attorney too. They best friends. Okay.
Okay.
So have you ever had to go and they end up having a case where they are fighting against each other?
Oh,
And it is
prosecution
very
and defense.
stressful.
Mm.
On the show, it's very stressful. Have you ever had that where you, as a friend, and you going up against your friend?
No, not really.
Okay, that's
there
good.
were attorneys that that I knew,
Uh-huh.
and generally as girlfriends, no, there
Okay.
weren't that many. I mean, at the time I started prosecuting,
Uh-huh.
there weren't as many women,
Okay.
and so I went against a lot of men.
Okay.
And there were women there, but not that many that I had a friend that I would go against on the other
Okay,
side
okay.
necessarily.
Were the
but-
men hard on you though when you coming up against them? Were
Of
they trying to
course.
make you because you are a woman attorney?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and most of the defense attorneys were older,
Okay.
and because I started prosecuting in my 20s,
Okay.
Oh.
so I was 24.
Ooh, you
25.
was young going
Yeah,
out
I
there.
was.
doing-
I was
bet
young
you
once.
was bold, girl. I bet you was really bold on that thing. That's awesome. So
Yes.
that's the reason why I was saying it because I could see men trying to make you look bad.
Intimidate.
You know,
Right,
intimidate you
right.
because you are a woman.
Right.
And here you are young.
Yeah.
And were you working for a firm or anything, or were you on your own?
I was working for the district attorney's office.
Okay, district
So-
attorney office.
So
okay.
yes, and they probably did. It's just I had to focus so much on what I was
What you were
doing
right.
that I just didn't pay much attention to
Right.
it.
That's
and,
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I'd
awesome.
recommend anyone in any field. I mean,
Yes.
focus on your A game. Don't
There you
focus
go.
on your competition. You're
Right.
your best
That's right.
competition. So
That's
Right.
right.
yeah,
That's
focus on
true.
making
Because you'll
yourself
lose
better.
focus. If
Exactly.
you start worrying about what Wendy is doing,
Right.
I'll lose focus because I'm trying to think about in Wendy's mind what she's trying to do.
Mhm.
Yes.
And that's in anything. If we focus on us, ourselves, more than trying to worry about what you're doing, you know.
Right.
But let me ask this big question. Why did you want to become an attorney?
Well, I think it was because I loved history.
Okay.
And as I was growing up, my parents, who were both
You talking about
teachers,
the class history?
they-
Are you talking about in school, Wendy, you love history? Wow.
Baby, give her 2 hours. You be
What?
like, what?
All right,
Yes,
math was my favorite
yes.
subject, but okay, history
Yes,
seems
yes.
so boring to me, but I had to
That's
take
her
it.
history.
Okay, so you love history.
I loved history, and my parents were both teachers,
Okay.
and so they saved me clippings of current events. So I had a little sewing box, and
Uh,
they would clip the Kennedy assassination and things that happened when I was a child.
okay.
They saved those clippings for me, and
That
it
was
just
good.
created an interest in
Mhm.
and past events and what
Mhm.
happened and what were people like and what was going on, and
Right.
and so that spurred my interest. And in undergrad, I majored in political science.
Science.
Yeah.
So I liked
Dig at that.
it was related to
Mhm.
history.
Yes.
It was
Mhm.
just socialization and what's going on in different countries and in America. And so that just kind of led to law school.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
okay.
And that takes how long to become an attorney?
Well, your undergrad degree and then 3 years of law school.
Oh, okay. That's
Uh-huh.
not bad. That's
Yeah.
almost like 7 years.
7
almost
years.
7
Uh-huh.
years.
Yes.
Now, were you afraid going out there, being an attorney? Did you have a mentor or?
I had some great training.
That's good.
I did have a pretty tough professor in law school that taught me it was a criminal clinic. And so we got a chance to try cases when we were students,
Yes.
our last year
Uh-huh.
at SMU. And he was pretty tough on us.
Okay.
And I didn't like it, appreciate it at the time.
But now.
But now I still hear his voice in the back of my head sometimes.
So you graduated from SMU?
I did. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Yeah, we think about that when we were in college. We like, oh, I can't stand this teacher. But then when you get out, you remember that. That's
Yes.
awesome. I am so proud of you. Being a Black attorney and going out there fighting and everything. But now you are doing the elderly law attorney?
Yes,
or?
it's called elder law.
Okay, elder
And
law.
when I
Okay.
was in law school, it wasn't even a section of law to even practice.
Oh, really?
So it's pretty new.
Oh,
And
okay.
it evolved in the late 80s, early 90s, Medicaid planning. So but basically, it's a law subsection of estate planning that helps elderly people if they're faced with a health crisis,
Okay.
if they're having to go to a nursing home or something. So what we do is help them preserve their assets,
Okay.
and
okay.
we help them. Yes,
That's good.
Yeah. Keep their home, keep their ranches, and get them qualified for Medicaid if they want to apply for that, and do that legally and stay out of trouble. Yeah.
Some most nursing home, when you go into the nursing home, they take everything. They want to know your checking account, your savings, if you have any stocks, do you have any land, all of this. And your Social Security check, so that they can profit off of that. So how can you stop that? I mean, what ways can they stop, that type of thief? I mean, that's silly.
Thievery.
Yeah, thank you.
Thievery.
Thank you.
There's thieves out there.
Yeah.
Help us with it. Help us with it.
Well,
That's true, though. That's
Well,
how they used to do.
Yes, there's certain ways that a person can pay for nursing care. Of course,
Okay.
they can pay for it privately if they have the funds. They can just write the check month. If they have long-term care insurance, that insurance can
true.
pay for it.
Okay.
And the third way, if they can't afford it, and which very few people can. I mean, either you're very rich, or if you're poor, you would qualify for Medicaid.
Right.
But my demographic is middle income America,
Okay.
and for those who are trying to preserve their assets. Now, we do have to divulge, if we do apply for Medicaid, you do have to divulge your income and your assets.
Okay.
And so we basically say, this is a spreadsheet of a snapshot of your assets, and then this is our strategy.
Okay.
And then this is why we feel that you would a person would qualify under the guidelines.
Okay.
So what we do is just help families keep those assets as much as possible, and then qualify and still get, the Medicaid benefit. And that's perfectly legal to do that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I hate to say it because I watch a lot of shows. But anyway, I was watching this one show when Linda brought that up. It was a show where they was going to court and saying that these people wasn't able to take care of themselves. And they was taking everything. That's when you asked that question, that's what I thought about.
Yes.
Right.
And they actually was going to court saying that these people was like
Dementia.
and
Yes.
all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I said, oh, that is so crazy. Because I would hate for somebody to knock on my door and say, oh, we're here to take you to, the nursing home. And I have all this stuff. And they was really, it was like a fraudulent thing. And they was getting all these people money
Right.
and putting them in the nursing home and all this stuff. And they was taking all their money.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have that, and there's elder abuse.
Yes.
And so there are people that prey on the elderly.
That's right.
And try to get them, because they're vulnerable. They may be home
That is
alone.
so sad.
That's sad.
They may not have anyone checking in on them. And so we do want to check in on our elderly relatives and friends and
Right.
neighbors, keep an eye on them, and make sure that someone strange is not just appearing, and they will entrust them to their home and their accounts and things like that, because they can do that. They can,
Wow.
unfortunately.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why did you write this book, Creative Caregiving and Beyond?
Well, I wrote the book because I just felt there's only so many clients that I can take on in a year's time
Okay.
or over my career.
Okay.
But there's so many questions that are very similar.
Okay.
whether you live in Dallas or California,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
no matter what the law is. So I
Mhm.
said, you know what? If I put this in a book and then make that available for people, they can do some like pre-planning on what to do. Because most of my clients will always say, Wendy, if I only known
There we
Right.
go.
Right.
what to do
Right.
ahead of time,
Yes.
I could have done
yes.
some planning.
Yes.
Right.
And so, you know, we do plan for vacations, we plan for
Mhm.
weddings, we plan for a
Right.
lot of different things. And so, when you work hard, you've worked all your career, you've worked to build up a nest egg in retirement,
Right.
and we plan for that. But then
Right.
you've also got to plan how to keep it
Right.
and how to
Right.
transition it.
Right.
That's a
so,
good point.
so that the book kind of covers that, and it's written in a narrative form. So it's a family, and they meet at Thanksgiving, and they notice that
Is this your family or is this just a family?
this is a made up family.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because it
but-
sounded so real.
It is, you know, I took
I mean,
a
it's
bit of
good.
all the stories I've heard through the years,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
That's
my own
good.
personal experience as well, and then just put it in one family.
Oh, but
Okay.
I
And
might
so-
add that is my real name though, right there.
Where? What's
That's
your real
really
name?
That's I'm this real person right here, Kim.
Kim.
Oh, that's you
Kim,
down there,
what she did,
Kim.
is
Is that
acknowledgement
you?
that's really me.
Oh,
I
okay.
just want y'all to know my name is in 2 books.
Where is it at?
In the
Oh,
Lamb's
thank
Book-
you to my dear friend Kim.
That's really me. I'm a real person, and my name is in the Lamb's
Is-
Book
is
of
she
Life.
telling the
And this
truth?
one,
She is telling the truth.
Oh,
Yes.
really? Well, Kim is in the book, y'all. Y'all must get the book because Kim
my name is in
the
2
book.
books: the Lamb's Book of Life and this one. This one.
Okay, good, Kim. Well, we need your autograph then.
Oh, and Keith's checkbook and Keith's checkbook.
And Keith checkbook.
I got 3 books. I got 3
Yeah,
valuable
you
books.
so crazy. Well, I'm on Glenn checkbook too, so I got my name in the book too then.
I'm on Linda's book.
Linda said she laid
waiting.
on, okay?
No, and while we're talking about this, I just want to acknowledge
like that.
Cash, her son, Cash
Uh-huh.
Whiteman, 2006, this artwork.
Yes, that's beautiful.
You know, when
Yeah.
she, and I didn't realize it until she told me. I was like,
Uh-huh.
the cover's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And she said, this is Cash. He did this finger painting. You want
He
to tell us?
did.
Now,
He
how old was
did.
he then?
Cash was 3 years
3.
old,
Wow.
and we
That
have,
is
you know, how you
beautiful.
keep your kids' artwork, and I've
Yes.
still got some of it framed around the house, and I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. We thought about the title, Creative Caregiving, and my assistant has a graphic artist degree, and so she was designing the cover.
Uh-huh.
And so we were looking at different paintings, and she was saying, "Well, Miss Wendy, you know, you got to pay for that every time the artist."
But that's awesome though.
Yes.
So you kept that.
I
All
kept
these
that.
years.
And
Because
and used it.
he's 18 now?
He's,
or he's
well,
17?
he'll be 18 in a couple of weeks. Yes.
Can you
Wow.
believe it's that old?
Wow.
Wow.
And it's still so much good information.
Yes.
And I love the way you did the elder family tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that's the reason why I thought it was real. You know. I thought-
Yes. That's the name of the family in the book.
Elder.
It's called the Elder Family. I wanted something interesting and not a law book. I didn't want it
Right.
boring and then
Right. Right.
Right.
first paragraph you sleep, right?
Right.
And so, but it gets it
It's
kind of
interesting.
it's really interesting. This family meeting for
Yes.
can you imagine your family at Thanksgiving?
Oh
and-
no, I can't imagine my family at no Thanksgiving, baby. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better now, but oh no, baby, the turkey and the breast will be all over the place and stuff. So no, but I can imagine in this book,
In
it,
this
it
book.
sounded almost like mine at first. So, but I like the way you started off. You said this is the story of the elder family. And the following is a synopsis of the storyline we will follow throughout the book. You brought in the characters, you told about how they were, and then one of these in here matched my sister. So you know, I was like, boy, this is almost at home. You know, you talked about. I mean, it really make you feel like it's a real
You're sitting down at the
Yeah,
table.
you
Yeah,
can
you
connect
actually
with all
sit
the
down
scenarios.
Right.
at the table
Right.
and everything. So
Right.
your introduction. What made you pick the name Elder Family and
Well,
stuff?
Because it's elder law and that was close to it, and
Uh-huh.
so we just picked that as their last name
Oh,
Okay.
because it was relatable.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, okay, let's get started with the introduction. We got that. Okay, the first thing you said is having the conversation.
Yes.
This is bringing the family together. They're going to be talking about their parents
Yes.
and what's going to happen
Well, are
next.
the parents there as well?
Yeah, the parents are there. You've got 3 generations. You
Right.
have the parents, and then you have their children, their adult children,
Okay.
and then you have their kids.
Yes,
So the
okay.
grandkids are there
Okay.
too.
Okay.
And so George is there and Mildred, and they're having some memory issues.
Oh,
And so the kids noticed that, and they said, you
Right.
know, well, we're going to have to maybe talk to mom and dad. One of the siblings is like, they're fine. They're fine.
Right.
We don't do anything.
Mhm.
And so, but the one of the daughters is like, yeah, we need to really sit down and make a plan. And but how
Right.
do we approach them? We don't want to offend them because they, in the past, when they've approached them about, let's talk about
Right.
your you know, your future, you know,
Right.
your retirement. They kind of closed up because a
Right.
lot of times seniors don't want to talk about it.
That's
They're very
right.
private,
mhm,
and it's their business. I get that.
right.
So the first chapter talks about how to have that conversation
Station with-
Right.
without offending them.
Oh, excuse
Yes.
me.
Oh, go right ahead.
I like the way she has the reflective questions at the
Right.
end of each
Yes.
chapter
Mhm.
because it really gives you something to think about. Have you thought about having a conversation with your elder parents about their situation? Who should be present?
Right.
What resistance or issues do you anticipate? How would you deal with the issues? That's, I mean, who thinks
And
about
this
that?
is something to think about, really.
It really
It
is.
And I'm
It
glad
really
you're
is.
talking about this because if I'd have known a lot of this stuff when my mom was there with me, you know, I probably would have done things different.
Mm-hmm.
You
And then,
know, I probably would have just beat up all my sisters. And,
oh, Lord. And also, you mentioned power of attorney. Where does that come entail? I mean, how would you present? Okay, your parents. Okay, I want to be your power of attorney, or what do you say to them? You know, because that's kind of taking over their lives, in the sense, isn't it? I mean, somewhat,
well, they might feel like that though.
but it
Yeah.
is actually.
Yeah, sometimes they feel that way, and then, but you can approach them. Sometimes you can approach them through someone they respect,
Right.
and
right.
sometimes their doctor will say, you know what, you know, Mrs. Elder, do you have your estate planning documents together? Because we need here in the office, we need your medical power of attorney. Do you have one?
Right.
And then she may say, no, I don't.
Mhm.
Or your financial. Those are some things you may need to get with your lawyer about and start getting those together and have those in order because we'll need one on the file in the office here. Also, there are different ways to draft a power of attorney. I mean, they can be effective immediately,
Mhm.
or they can be effective upon their disability or incapacitation.
Okay.
So sometimes that makes some
makes
people
a
feel a
difference.
little bit easier,
Right.
and that they know it's not going to be effective. It's not going to trigger until they become incapacitated or disabled.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and they can't do it for themselves.
Right.
Yes.
And this book basically tell you how to do that,
Yes.
how
yes.
to have the conversation, and
Yes.
then doing it the first time, getting the family in together.
Not
And
at
then-
Thanksgiving.
Not on Thanksgiving, but you gonna throw some turkey legs and
And
all of
mashed
that.
potatoes.
But you know,
and all
it's
that.
it's always seemed like somebody. Now, I see where you said who's gonna be in charge. You know,
Oh, God.
but watching, because we've had people on the show that their parents had dementia
Okay.
and they had to watch the signs. You know,
Yes.
and
yes.
then I know it's also in the book where the mom was more easier to get along with than
Right.
the daddy.
Than
They didn't know
dad.
how to present it to the dad because
Right.
Ooh,
most of the time the
yes.
dad don't want to own up to them being this,
Right.
you know, like that, but the mom was.
Aging.
And then
Mhm.
you got, y'all, this is a good book. You really need if you have elderly parents
Right.
that you're taking care of. And it says getting mom and dad organized. And that's something to think about.
It is because getting, you know, you've lived, and we can look at our homes, right?
Right, right.
You've lived there quite a while, maybe several decades,
Yes.
or you've been living for several decades
Right.
and accumulating things.
Right.
Right.
And then when you're faced with that task of having to get things organized and find things
And giving people your
in a
stuff.
few days,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
you know, at least getting it organized and
Yes.
getting things thrown out. Like I try to throw out things in my house every several
I hear
months,
you.
every few
That's
months. I
what
don't
I'm
always
doing.
get to it, but
I don't
Right.
either.
yeah. I've got a lot of stuff. I was telling my husband I need to get stuff thrown out of
That's
here.
right. So your
Right.
kids don't have to do that. you
Right,
know?
right.
Right,
It's just
right.
accumulate.
Right.
This is so true. And this is what I really love about my oldest son.
Mhm.
He's very organized. He keeps stuff on his files and I mean he goes to it just like that. And I try to keep my stuff organized and I'm giving him the responsibility now so he'll know
Very good.
where everything is if
Yes.
anything happened to
Right.
with when it happened,
Yes.
so that he didn't have to be saying, well, where did mama put this?
Right.
Where did mama put
Right.
that? And a lot of times we don't want to talk like that with our children.
Right.
But we need to
Right.
have that conversation because it stresses them when they don't know where the insurance policies are or all this. Because we never know the time when we're going to leave here.
Right. Right.
And that's the reason why I like the way you said who's in charge. And you're going to have some children, if you have more than one is going to be that responsible one that you might have to put in, put over everything.
Yes.
And you mentioned all this in the book, who's going to be in charge. And then you're going to have the one that, I don't care. Do what you want to do.
Right.
Like that.
Yes.
And then you're going to have the one, okay, I just sit here and wait until y'all get the money and then I can get what your mama left me.
And then that be the one that raised the most hell. That ain't done nothing for their parents.
Right.
Ain't done a darn thing. Right. But they always want to come in and say, where's my share? Haven't paid no taxes.
Yeah.
Nothing on the land.
Nothing on the land.
But here they are. And then it caused the family to split.
Yes.
So if they have a will, does that help out a lot if they put a will?
It does because it's their wishes.
Okay.
And that person has actually explicitly put down what they want. So if someone has a problem with that, there's also a clause that says if you contest this,
right,
then you're going to be disinherited. So
and I got that clause.
You have that clause.
My daddy had that clause.
My father, I put that in my father-in-law. I put that in my father-in-law will too because he has like 13 kids.
Okay.
About 3 different whatchamacallit. And this guy took him, he said, oh, Miss Kirkwood, your father-in-law need a will because anything happening to him with the land that he has, he needs to establish who he wants to leave that to. And since you all are taking care of him, you all should be the ones to do that. Okay? And he did. He set it up for my husband and everything. Then I found out that I can't even say nothing. I was like, are you telling me the truth? I don't have. He said, no, because he gave it to your husband. And it goes to your husband and then his children.
Yes. Right. Yes.
But I was glad that he did that because with all these kids, and the first thing he did was, oh, daddy got land and daddy put my husband over everything because they wasn't paying no taxes. And so he set it up like that. But this book, y'all need to get this book. Question. Go ahead and ask her a question.
My question is,
go ahead and ask this woman a question, girl. She's an attorney, girl.
My question,
this
this land, for real, AARP will sit in here. And then it's almost past my bedtime.
Wake up now. She'll wake up in a few minutes.
Okay, you pay this land, I've said 30 and 40 years. You paying this land. And they can just come in and swoop it up. I mean, you have to share with them. Why is that? Is there any kind of policy or law that says, okay, if you paying your money for this land, it's coming out of your pocket.
Are you talking about taxes?
Taxes, on the taxes and all this. But it's air property. Is there any way that you can have air property fixed, or what would you need to do with air property?
Well, and you say they can come in and scoop it up. You mean for lack of paying taxes, if all the taxes are not caught up?
The family.
Oh, the family. Okay.
They haven't. This one person is paying taxes for the last 50 years.
Yeah, and that's and what happens with that usually, and I get that question a lot, is that you can pay the taxes, but you don't have the full ownership of it.
Right.
And so you have to get the family members to sign off on that if you wanted to get full ownership, they have to deed their interest, over
but
to you.
You know they're not gonna do that.
Right.
But let me ask you this. Now we was told back years ago, because we had that to happen to us. All of us was paying taxes, and this one sister wasn't paying taxes. She never did pay taxes. So her kids wanted to come in and say, well, we should do this. So the person at the tax paper said, this is what you tell her. I'll add up all the taxes over the years, give her this bill, and then she can pay the tax, and then she will be included. Well, we present that to her, the amount of all the taxes. It was like 20, 30 years that my sisters and all of us, had been paying. My mom and all of them had been paying. Then when she got that, she said, oh, no, that's okay. And stuff. So, but my mom ended up putting everything in my name. Anyway, so they go through, but I just let them go ahead because we all pay taxes.
Right.
But she put me over all of it, and everything like that. But we don't have any problem like that. But I see what you're saying. It's not right for you to pay all the tax, then they want to come in when something happen, they want to take over.
Right.
And that's
right.
mostly with anything.
Yeah, it is, and that's
Yeah.
one of the main reasons are that most families lose that land
Right.
that someone worked hard for
Right.
years and decades ago
Right.
when it was even more unusual for
Right.
them to even
Right.
own that type of property.
Right.
And so that's why it's so important to have a will and to do
Yes.
estate planning
Yeah.
and to make sure the family can preserve that or put it in a trust or.
Mhm.
And again, I guess I have to do a legal disclaimer. I'm not giving legal advice tonight.
Right.
Right.
That's
right.
good. That's
You
good.
have to
That's
call her
good.
and
Yeah.
everything and
Yes.
set that
Yes,
up.
but we're just discussing
it's-
scenarios.
Yeah.
But
But
go right ahead.
It's just amazing how we are losing so much land.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is
Mhm.
us as African Americans
Yes.
losing so much
Yeah.
land
Mhm.
because we don't take the time to
Time out.
find out how, where the land is. What did my father, my grandfather, my great grandfather, what did he buy, and where is
Right.
because I think you can't get the land deed. You have to, go down to the courts and get that. But we as African Americans need to really get smart on this because we have lost so much land unnecessarily
Right.
you
No,
know,
I agree.
and
I
just
agree.
selfishness.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like if you have some land that you hold taxes on, call me. I go and get it for you.
And
I
keep
would
your taxes up on your land
Yeah.
and
Yes.
stuff. We really keep our land taxes up and everything like that because a lot of people want to buy your land
Yes.
and
they
you
will.
have mineral rights on your land.
Yes.
And if they know that there's oil and gas, like they know on our land up there in Kildare, they always trying to come in and buy
Yes.
our land because
Yeah.
they
Oh, yeah.
know it's oil. Matter of fact, we had oil and gas back in I think it was in the 80s, and they want drill, and it was racial. When they found out majority of people that was in that 640 acres was all black except for one white family. Do you know they shut that down?
Really?
They shut it down. They wouldn't even go in there and drill the oil and gas off
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
Wow.
That's a true statement. That was back then. So we have a lot of people now that will do that. But Miss Wendy, I know our time is getting up, but this is a good book. You all need to go. Where can they find the book?
Yes, you can find the book on Amazon.
Okay.
Amazon.com. You can either put in my name, Wendy Whiteman, or Creative Caregiving and Beyond, helping mom and dad. And you can order it on there.
Okay.
Are you-
Phone number and
What about your website?
My
and all that good
website
stuff?
is wendywhitemanlaw.com. And we have a toll-free number, 877-557-5371. I do a free consultation.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
if a person has a question about estate planning,
wills
no,
or
I don't do
whatever.
criminal law anymore, but just
Okay.
estate planning and wills and or elder law, related to your parents or anything like
Right.
that, I'll be happy to talk to you.
So you
Right.
still practicing law, right?
I am. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
You just
Right.
in private practice now.
I'm in private practice.
Oh, give it up.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to somebody that wanted to go to become an attorney?
I would say, obviously, you've got to stay focused on your undergrad degree. Go ahead and make some good grades in school. Set some goals. Start,
Right.
be interested in everything
Right.
because every life experience can help you as an attorney.
That's right.
You don't know what type of case or situation you may come across.
Mhm.
And just understanding, just so many different things. You don't have to just focus on the area
Right.
of history or politics or anything
Right.
like that. Just art. I mean, the sky's the limit on what lawyers
That's
can
true.
do today.
Right. That's
Right.
true.
Yes, yes. And you don't necessarily have to practice law. You could be in a business. It could be just, the sky's the limit. So be creative. And most of all, follow your heart, the passion
Yes.
that God put in your heart.
Yes. Yes.
And you can't go wrong with that.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Wendy, your
Thank you, Wendy
podcast
Whiteman.
is starting soon.
Yes.
Let's tell us about your
Yes,
podcast.
yes. I have a podcast. Kim was reminding me because I just started it last week.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's called Creative Caregiving and Beyond.
Okay.
And so my first show will probably air the 1st of June.
Okay.
And
good.
and what I'm doing is I'm putting
Mhm.
together different people in this elder care space.
Okay.
And they're going to talk about their services.
Okay.
So, for instance, one of the companies on my show talked about, I get this a lot from clients,
Mhm.
where do we put my mom? I can't find a place to put my dad.
Okay.
There's so many
That's
different
good.
nursing homes. Do you know about this one? Do you know about
Right.
that one? Well, these services, they actually will narrow that hunt
That's
down
right.
for you.
Mhm.
They vet them and they'll narrow it down for you. They'll interview the family, see what they prefer, and then they'll give them 3 choices.
Okay.
And so that they can go and check them out. And so services like that,
That's awesome.
we're going to have on, and
But-
just kind of talking about how they can help the community.
Okay, but will it also, your podcast will you let them know about, if they have like checking savings and all this, so the nursing home or the wherever they go will not get all of their money,
Yes.
Okay.
And that I probably need to interview myself on one of those
Yeah.
podcasts where
I hear you.
well, and I do seminars on that too, and I
Okay.
do I did one for Dallas County for Black History Month, and
Okay.
just
That's
talked
good.
about on Zoom
Okay.
how to preserve assets and what you can do.
Yes.
So I do that. I speak at churches and I speak at just different organizations as well.
Okay.
And but
That's
you're right,
awesome.
because the word has to get out there.
That's right.
You
Most
have to
people do not
advertise it.
know.
Yes,
Most people
they
do not
do
know what they
not.
can do.
Yes.
And it's just the tip of the iceberg, I think, that elder law attorneys are reaching for
Mhm.
families,
Right.
because a lot of people just spend everything. They lose their homes,
Yes,
Right.
like
they
you
do.
said,
Right.
and there are ways to prevent that. Yes,
That's-
Yes.
yes.
Well,
And
we
that's
thank you,
good.
Wendy, for sharing this information. And at this time, we're going to let Kim show off her little beautiful outfit
Yeah.
and everything. Come on, Kimberly.
Oh, well, okay.
Yes,
Did you say hi to Greg? I said everybody's name but Greg. You say hi to
Hi,
Greg.
Greg.
That's her husband.
Oh,
I
hi,
said
Greg. Thank
everybody-
you,
everybody-
Greg. And your mom? What's your mom's name?
Everybody calls her Miss A.
Okay, hi,
happy
Miss
Mother's
A.
Day, Miss A.
We love you,
Hi,
Miss
Mom.
A. Happy belated Mother's Day. Okay, Kim, show your thing. Do your thing,
Kim.
Kim. Do your thing. I love this. Look how she even brought her cute little caution things, I guess. This is Kimberly, y'all, the one and only. We missed Kimberly last week, but I
Yes.
tell you, she's back with oh my God, her purse even matched it. Go, girl. You are too tough. I tell you, Keith, I don't know what. I just don't know what Keith can do in that household. Okay, Keith.
Okay, y'all.
She's so funny.
Manuel has given me a little more room to express myself.
Now you can show her shoes, please.
Please see my shoes, please. See my
show
shoes
them.
from Shoe Deal. Please see my shoes. Okay, this is my Anya Highmark bag, and it is actually a cone. Can y'all see? That's why I brought my cones with me, so that you can see that the designer's creation was thought of from a cone, men at work cone. Now Emmanuel said it looks like candy corn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
it
how you
does.
gonna say
Candy corn.
how you gonna say that about my bag? That my bag
It
looks
look
like
like candy corn.
I love the shoes.
So this is just
Oh, I
something
like
for the
those.
AARP in me. It's relaxed, it's loose. Have my choker
I
on.
love the
And my
choker
little
too.
black and white. Yes, this is my Mother's Day look. Yeah.
You go.
Where do you get where your shoes came from?
Shoe Deal.
Shoot it.
The little
Oh,
999 store in Arlington.
What is the wording of it?
I think it says something about love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's in French.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I think those are pretty.
Thank you. Caution, caution. I had to borrow these from my husband today, from his truck.
Well, those are nice.
Aren't they cute? I mean, they just
Yeah.
think my bag looks so cute, don't they?
Yes.
Bam.
It matches.
And then this is a little cone too.
Well, you know, I
So,
like
yeah,
those
you have to be
bags.
fun and whimsical as you mature and you become more seasoned.
I love it, Kimberly.
Thank you, darling.
Okay, so we're going to can you hold that for me? Pull that out.
Oh, she got it.
Oh, okay. Got it. But anyway, we want to introduce to you Inspire T-shirts designed by Emmanuel Kirkwood. Inspirations. Each one of these are going to be inspired. If you notice on the shoulder, and then in the back, there's a little signature, and they come in different colors. Okay, this is one in the turquoise, and then we have this one that's in the green. See, but he can make all kinds of design, pictures on there, whatever. I guarantee you he'll be able to do that. Now these are fresh off. These are a new edition called. You seen the Try God by Itself? But if you notice, now look at that, Kimberly, how we got that on there with the different colors.
I thought that was
I think that is so beautiful with the green and the purple. But he loved creating a lot of them. They are, a lot of them are inspiration with God's word and everything, but he can do family reunion shirts. Matter of fact, he just finished doing one. They were awesome. He put the pictures of the family on there, and they were awesome. So, hey, check us out at www.kurtinspirations.com. Also, if you want a photo booth at your event while you're wearing these beautiful t-shirts, check out the Kurt booth. And you will see Kimberly on a lot of our pictures. She's our Kurt booth model. Okay, she models everywhere, I tell you. Kimberly is the one. So check us out, okay? All right, so Miss Wendy, we are so excited to have you tonight.
Thank you.
You have truly blessed
I really
us.
enjoyed it.
I
Yes,
tell
Wendy,
you,
you look so
I've heard
pretty,
so
Wendy.
much from her tonight.
Mhm.
So if you all have questions, we're going to have information at the bottom of the page where it's going to tell about her podcast and all this good information about how to reach her. So if you're having a question about your parents and wills or whatever, check out Wendy Whiteman.
Or concerned about your own future.
Yeah, just concerned about
'Cause
your
you may
own
be
future.
single.
You know, we
Right.
all have AARP, which you get discounts off of AARP. I'm serious. You go to dentist, they give you 15%. So don't be ashamed that you're in the AARP age range. That means you're still living and you're still kicking, okay? Thank you, Wendy, for being on the show.
Yes.
Again, if you would love to be on the talk show, www.elmatalkshow.com. We would love to have you on the show. Also, subscribe to our YouTube page.
Right.
And look at us on Monday nights at 8 p.m. We're live. We are live. Y'all can send your topics in. You can talk to us. On Thursday, we have our guests.
Yes.
So that way you'll be able to get a little of us, a little of our guests on every Thursday, 8 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays, right, ladies? 8 p.m. And remember, whatever you start, you need to finish it. And until we see you what? Face to face. Good night.
Good night.